everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger, here with my new Empowered Moments video for the month of March 2023. So I'm really excited about this monthly video because we are moving towards the spring equinox here in the Northern Hemisphere, which signals the spring and a time of new beginnings. And we're going to have a new moon in Aries, first sign of the zodiac, the day after our equinox. So exciting times ahead, and I can't wait to see what Spirit has for us as far as these messages. But let's start out by showing you what we're going to use as far as decks for this month. So our collective message, the message for everyone, will be coming from the Syrian Starseed Tarot by Patricia Corey and Alyssa Bartha a little bit later on here. And then your special message card, depending on your stone of choice for this month, is going to be coming from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. This is one of my favorite newer decks, and this is by Alberto Villaldo and Colette Barron-Reed. So I can't wait to see what the messages are going to be. But let's start out by doing an empowered moment for this month of March. So if you get comfortable in your seats there and close your eyes, relax your body, clear your mind. Take a couple of deep breaths to just center and balance. Putting your feet flat on the floor if you can with your legs uncrossed. And let's tune in to the energy of that spring equinox. Now, of course, in the southern hemisphere, you all have the fall equinox, but the equinox energy is important here. It signals a time of transition and change, no matter whether it's the spring or the fall equinox. But for most of us probably watching this video here in the United States, we've got that spring equinox where the sun moves into Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, energy of initiation and new birth. And of course, we associate the springtime with blooming flowers, the trees with its leaves coming into bloom. And so too our intentions and dreams can start to be initiated and manifest during this time. And especially because we have a new moon in Aries the day after the equinox. Again, it's a true new beginning to what lies ahead for us. Now, those of you in the fall equinox in the southern hemisphere, you're transitioning into a time where everything is full of color. Everything has already been in its full bloom, and it's a time of the harvest. So either way, this is a wonderful time of the year, this equinox time. And whether you're focusing on new birth in the spring or the harvest and opening up to those blessings of abundance and prosperity in the fall equinox that the universe is giving us, it's a time again of wonderful miracles and magic. So let's focus on what miracles and magic you wish to create in your life. What is it that you want to give birth to or initiate in your life? What is it that you're passionate about? Where can you learn to receive? Where's the abundance and prosperity? Where is it being directed in your life? Maybe it's in relationships, maybe it's in career, maybe it's money and finances. But abundance and prosperity can be so many things. It can be about our evolution and growth and the next step on our destiny path. So even if you're in the fall equinox in the southern hemisphere, we still have the sun moving into Aries, and we still have this new moon in Aries. Either way, Aries is a time of new beginnings. So what do you want to initiate in your life? Can you see it? Can you feel it? Can you dream it? Can you imagine it? Take some time now, take some moments to see and feel, imagine, to create in your inner mind these new beginnings that you desire. And again, for those of you in the southern hemisphere in the fall equinox, and this can be true for all of us as well, where can we learn to receive better? How can we open up to the blessings of abundance and prosperity from the universe? If we're going to initiate new dreams, we want to be able to receive them when they manifest. It's a time to take action in some way, shape, or form. Where do you need to take action in your life? Where do you need to take action in your soul evolution and growth? Let's focus on this wonderful and passionate, take charge energy of Aries. Either way, it's going to shift the energy just after mid-month from the Pisces clearing, healing, and releasing that we're currently in, that we start the month out in. So focusing on your intentions for the new beginnings that are about to arrive, feeling passion in your body, mind, and soul for the new creations that you can give birth to. Let's take in a deep breath, breathing that in to every cell of our body. And as you exhale, it's being sent out in all directions of time and space to be made manifest. And when you're ready and in your own time, you can open your eyes, returning to this time and this place. And let's go ahead and take a look at our stones of choice for this month. Oh, there's so much to talk about this month, but we have to look at these stones of choice for the special message card later. This is strawberry jasper. Isn't it interesting? It actually looks like a crescent moon if you hold it like this. So I'm going to hold it like that. The strawberry jasper. This is a stone that assists with emotional balance, right? And we're definitely starting out the month of March needing emotional balance. This is a stone of self-love. It's that pink strawberry color that we associate with the heart chakra and self-love. And this is also helpful in connecting us to the spiritual realm, believe it or not. And also connecting us to our past lives. This is a stone of happiness and a stone of wholeness. Okay. Our second stone of choice for this month is sardonyx. Isn't that cool? These are all new stones. And the sardonyx is a stone of strength and protection, a stone of courage and clear communication. It helps with stamina and energy. It also helps with happiness, just like the previous stone, as well as creativity and good fortune. Okay, and then our last stone of choice. I thought this was unique. This is a gold stone. I guess you could call it a donut. Okay, I have gold stone, but I never saw a gold stone donut, so I decided to pick it up. And this is a stone of ambition. It assists in attaining our goals. It brings us courage and vitality, a sense of positive drive, a positive mental attitude, and it awakens the sacral chakra. It's got kind of that orangey brown sort of color, so that orange with the sparkles, right? It awakens the sacral chakra, which awakens our passion for life. So again, let's take a look at those stones of choice again. We've got the strawberry jasper. We've got the sardonyx. And we've got the gold stone donut. Okay, so let's talk about the numerology energy for the month of March. This is really exciting because last month, February, the second month of the year, we took that number 2 for the second month of February. We added it to the universal year number 2023, which equals a 7. 7 plus 2 is a 9. 9 is a number of completion, endings, releasing, letting go, healing, going with the flow, creative inspiration. Now, the Ninth Major Arcana was the Hermit card, so we kind of went within in February. We did a lot of soul searching, self-healing, alone time, hopefully, that you partook in. Now we're in March. March is the third month of the year. So we add the universal 7 year to the third month of March and we get a 10. So we know that 1 plus 0 equals 1. This is a time of new beginnings. Doesn't it go so well with the Aries spring equinox and the Aries new moon, right? Initiation, independence, individuality, new beginnings with that 1 month. We're needing to stand in our courage and our strength and our confidence. We're needing to take charge. Again, initiation is a strong key word for the month of March. Now, the 10th Major Arcana in the Tarot, if we wanted to look at what tarot card March vibrates to, is the Wheel of Fortune. In the Syrian Starseed Tarot, it's called the Great Wheel. So the Great Wheel is always spinning and turning and shifting us from one aspect of life to another aspect of life, just like we're shifting out of the Pisces season into the Aries season. And for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, we're shifting out of winter into spring. Of course, for you in the Southern Hemisphere, you're shifting out of summer and into fall. But the Great Wheel here is telling us that there's a karmic shift happening here. We've got this interesting geometric shape in the Syrian Starseed Tarot Great Wheel. So there's something transforming, there's something developing, there's something initiating here, right? There's a magical sort of energy that's happening with this Great Wheel transition. The Wheel of Fortune often is about a positive shift in circumstances. Sometimes, though, we don't necessarily see or feel or have the awareness that whatever's shifting in our lives, sometimes it feels challenging. Sometimes it feels a little, frustrating even sometimes, or fearful. That's the word I'm looking for. It can feel a little fearful. But really, this is a positive shift in circumstances. Maybe the positive shift is just energetic and within you. Maybe it's a positive shift in your perspective or belief systems. Maybe it's a positive shift in your situations and circumstances. Maybe it's all of the above, depending on how things are connecting to your own astrological chart. So this would be a great time to kind of tune in and see what the cards have to say, so to speak, right? See what your own inner guidance has to say. See what an intuitive has to say. See what your astrology chart has to say, what transits are going on. But anyway, this is what vibrates to the month of March. Now, I do think we're going to feel more of this shift as we enter the spring equinox and the new moon. I feel like the first good half of the month is really kind of the in-between time of the releasing and letting go and healing that we're still doing before we get into the initiation, the new birth, the new beginning with that transition energy into Aries season. But again, very exciting times. So let's talk about the astrology highlights for the month. On the 2nd, we've got Venus, planet of love and relationships, planet of money and finances, planet that rules our values and our sense of self-worth, is going to be actually not shifting, because this is Mercury. I'm trying to look at my little note cards here. Very little, very small. Okay, so it's actually Mercury. Mercury is shifting into Pisces. Boy, oh boy, let's flub that up, right? We're in Pisces season, which is kind of confusion and illusion and not being grounded. So talk about not being grounded. Here we are. So on the 2nd, Mercury, the planet that rules our mind, the mental realm, right, is shifting into Pisces. I guess I'm feeling the Pisces energy already. The sun's already there, right? But now Mercury is going to enter Pisces and join the sun. So now we're really confused, folks. Let's see if I can get through the rest of this and be accurate. So Mercury in Pisces, I mean, Mercury rules logic and intellect, analysis. However, Pisces is dreamy and creative and artistic and spiritual. So this is the spiritual use of the mind. It's like merging logic with intuition, right? This is going to be the creative mind, the imaginative mind, the mind that visualizes, creating in your mind through seeing images, having dreams, daytime dreams, nighttime dreams. Mercury and Pisces can be that very free-flowing, imaginative, creative, and artistic energy. And Mercury will be in Pisces from March 2nd until March 19th. So later on this month, it will make another sign change, entering Aries on the 19th, which is just in time for the spring equinox in the Northern Hemisphere, but we'll get to that in a minute. On the 7th of March, we've got a full moon, and this full moon is going to be in Virgo. Because the sun is in Pisces, that means the moon will be in the opposite sign of Virgo. Now, Pisces, remember we just said, was dreamy, artistic, creative, go with the flow sort of energy. Virgo, on the other hand, the opposite sign, is about logic and analysis and looking at the details and being very concise and precise about looking at things or trying to understand how things work. Because Virgo is one of those signs that Mercury rules, so that makes sense. But a full moon, right, it magnifies our emotions. But here our emotions are in this logical, analytical sign of Virgo. So what is that going to mean, right? Again, we have to marry logic and intuition somehow. Our emotions, we want to pick them apart and understand them on more of a logical level instead of just feeling them and experiencing them. Now, we are going to feel them and we are going to experience them, but again, we have the capacity to use the power of discernment to pick them apart and understand them and analyze them. Where do these emotions come from? Why am I being emotional in this situation? Now, this full moon, again, is the last lunation, like as far as a full moon and a new moon. It's the last full moon within the Pisces season. So the next lunation is the new moon in Aries. So that's that new birth and new beginnings part. So we're in this Pisces sun, Virgo moon. We're doing a lot of healing right now. A lot of releasing and healing and trying to understand things from a higher spiritual perspective as well as an earthly perspective. We're just trying to kind of do as much clearing as we can in this cycle of completion that we started in the month of February. Now, this full moon, it actually connects to a lot of planets here. It's making an inconjunct to Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion in our belief systems, an inconjunct to Chiron, who's the wounded healer and the shaman, a trine to Uranus. Now, a trine is a more positive aspect, and Uranus rules the higher mind. So our intuitive capabilities as well as our mental capabilities can be heightened with that aspect. Whereas the previous aspect, that inconjunct to both Jupiter and Chiron, is, things aren't really gelling very well, and we're needing to make some adjustments in order to understand what the larger picture is, and we're needing to make some adjustments to understand what healing is taking place within us. Then we move on after the trine to Uranus, and now we're at another inconjunct with Venus. There's the thing about relationships and finances, where again we're needing to try to make different types of energies make sense together, and they don't always make sense with an inconjunct. So somehow we have to understand that whatever's happening in our relationships, with our emotions and our feelings in our relationships, or with our emotions and feelings in money matters, financial matters, or even how we value ourselves, we're needing to again try to really put a little bit of extra effort in and try to make sense of all the details and what's going on. And then we end that full moon energy with a square to Mars. So that's a little bit of a challenging aspect. So, Mars is still in mutable Gemini. He hasn't left Gemini yet. He's been there since late August of 2022, causing a lot of vacillation and unsureness and just a lot of confusion with moving forward. So that full moon with that challenge to Mars, that might really have us not knowing which way is up, not knowing what we're really feeling as we're trying to figure out what we're feeling. So it's going to be a pretty interesting full moon. Now, on the same day as the full moon, March 7th, we also got a big thing happening. Saturn is moving out of Aquarius, where it's been for the last at least 2.5 years, and moving into Pisces. Now, Saturn stays in each sign of the zodiac for about 2.5, sometimes a little bit longer than 2.5 years. So for the next 2.5 to 3 years, Saturn's going to be in Pisces. What does Saturn rule? Saturn rules responsibility. Where do we need to take responsibility? In our spiritual lives. Pisces rules our spirituality, our connection to the divine, our connection to the cosmos, our connection to our higher self. So we're needing to take more responsibility with Saturn in Pisces. Saturn also rules karma and karmic lessons. So now the karma and karmic lessons is switching to the Pisces energy. And again, what's Pisces about? It can rule past lives. So there's going to be a lot of karmic clearing, continued clearing for the next 2.5 or so years with Saturn moving into Pisces. But we're certainly going to feel that shift from air sign mental Aquarius to water sign emotional and intuitive Pisces. So that'll be interesting. We'll talk more about that in the weekly Empowered Moments video when we get to that. Then we're going to skip to the 16th of March. This is when, now we can say Venus is moving out of Aries and into Taurus. So for the first 16 days, Venus, the ruler of the feminine archetype, is in confident, courageous, independent, individual Aries. Then on the 16th until April 11th, she's going to be moving and traveling through the sign of Taurus. Now, Taurus is one of the signs that Venus rules. The other one is Libra, but she's going to feel quite at home here in Taurus. In fact, Taurus is the sign that rules money and finances, personal resources. And so here, Venus's focus might be about our money and finances or other things that we consider our resources, which could be our gifts, our talents, our time, etc. Okay, so let's go ahead and skip to the 18th. This is where things get really juicy. On March 18th, we've got Mercury moving into Aries, which we've already mentioned. Mercury will be in Aries until April 13th. So Mercury again rules the mind, the mental realm. So this is initiating new ideas, new possibilities in the mind. new, more confident and courageous communication, speaking out and speaking our truth. It's very leadership oriented, right? But this is in the mental realm. However, on the 20th, the sun moves into Aries, which is the spring equinox. Again, time of new beginnings. Now we have Mercury and the sun in Aries, individualistic, take charge, leadership-oriented Aries. We're ready to move forward with passion, with energy, and with vitality, because that's what Aries rules. And then the next day, the 21st, is when we have the new moon in Aries. So now the moon catches up, and it's in Aries as well. It's at the very early degrees. In fact, it's at 0 degrees. And now this is going to be interesting, because as we move into April, the next month, the next new moon is also going to be in Aries, but it'll be at the last degree of Aries. So this new moon on the 21st of March is at 0 degrees of Aries, the initiation point. And then the next new moon in April is at 29 degrees of Aries, the last degree of Aries. So it's going to be a very interesting next month to 2 months here. Okay, so set your intentions, right? The new moon, set your intentions. In fact, I guess I'll do a little plug here, is I'm going to be doing a spring equinox, new moon in Aries meditation on Zoom. So I'll have that in my monthly newsletter that I'll be sending out. If you're not a part of my monthly newsletter, go to my website, find the newsletter link and sign up. It's very quick and easy. And then you'll have the details of how to connect with or contact me if you want to be a part of that spring equinox, new moon in Aries meditation. On the 23rd of March, so you can see it's like 18th, 20th, 21st, 23rd, all these things are happening very close together. On the 23rd of March, we've got Pluto moving into Aquarius, folks. This is a big, big deal. I might do a separate video on this, because Pluto spends over 20 years in every sign of the zodiac. It kind of fluctuates just a little bit because of Pluto's orbit, but well over 20 years it was in Capricorn, right? And so Pluto is about death and rebirth, transformation, regeneration, big changes. It's like a volcano with things bubbling beneath the surface. And when the volcano kind of explodes, so to speak, is when there's a huge transformation, a huge boost towards empowerment or taking our power back. So we're going to feel this shift on a collective level with Pluto moving into Aquarius now for the next 20-some years. However, it's only going to be in Aquarius until mid-June of this year. It's going to go retrograde, dip back into Capricorn for a few months, I think till the end of 2023. And then early on in 2024, it will go back into Aquarius again. It might have one more dip back into Capricorn, because Pluto is very slow moving, only moving like a degree and a half per year. So we might have a couple of retrogrades briefly back into Capricorn as it's finishing up this collective energy of transforming the patriarchal system, because that's what Capricorn rules. Capricorn rules big business and the patriarchal system, organizations like banks and government and things like that. So we've still got, a year and a half or so to go of some transitional changes on a collective level. Excuse me. With Pluto going into Aquarius, it's going to start transforming things that are ruled by Aquarius, which is technology for one, scientific advancements. So we're going to see the next few years a lot of advancements coming up. Excuse me. Of course I didn't bring my water. Okay. And then on the what does that say? On the 25th? Yes. On the 25th of March, we finally have Mars, the warrior planet of energy, action, forward movement, moving out of Gemini, where it's been since late August, early September, and it will be finally moving into Cancer. So Mars is, again, energy, action, forward movement, but it's been in vacillating, changeable, not grounded Gemini for some months now. And you can probably attest to that, right? Situations, circumstances, making decisions, choosing a direction has been very unstable. I guess that's a good word. Now we have Mars focusing his energy and action more in the realm of Cancer, which is about home, family, property, emotions, emotional body, nurturing. So it's going to be a whole different kind of feeling. It might settle down a little bit, but again, Mars is a fiery planet. You're putting it in a water sign. So when you put fire into water, well, it can create steam, which is a whole nother sort of element, but it can also water down the fiery, passionate energy of Mars. But while it was in Gemini, it was just too much. Like it wasn't grounding, it wasn't a grounded passion. It was like a very chaotic sort of passionate energy. So now Mars in Cancer, it's not going to be there quite as long. It's going to be in Cancer until May 20th. I think that's what I wrote down, May 20th. So you can see that at that point in May, it will then be moving into the next sign of the zodiac, which is Leo, which it's going to be much more comfortable in because we've got a fire planet with Mars in a fire sign, Leo. So that'll be a whole kind of different ball of wax. But for now, Mars in Cancer might feel good kind of compared to this vacillating, changeable, ungrounded sort of energy that we've had going on. So that is a little bit about the astrological highlights. Please forgive me for my little kind of coughing outburst here. Let's go ahead, though, and see what our angels and guides have to say as far as the messages are concerned. Now, I'm not surprised, but we had 5 cards in total coming out for this month of March. And because it's such an important month as we transition into that Aries energy, and too with Saturn moving into Pisces and Pluto moving into Aquarius. I mean, these are big deal energies. So let's look at the first of the first 2 cards. We've got the Master of Chalices. This is like the King of Cups, the King of Water, the King of Cups in the traditional tarot. Now, the King is the leader. The King is in charge of whatever domain he's in charge of. Here he's in charge of the domain of his emotions, or at least he's aspiring to be. I think that this is a good indication that he can get a handle on his emotions and emotional nature. Also on the psychic realm and your intuitive nature. And it's interesting that as the first card here, with the first card message, we start out the month in March with Pisces, right? We're still in sun sign Pisces energy, which is water, which is intuition, and it is healing energy, and it is psychic abilities, creative artistic abilities, rules the spiritual realm, our dream time. So here we're mastering that realm. We're mastering the spiritual realm. We're mastering our emotional realm. And again, I'd say this is a good indication of taking charge of our emotional fluctuations, or taking charge of the emotional ups and downs, being more steady with, and in that kingly authority position with these energies, right? So emotion, spirituality, psychic, intuitive, healing, past lives even, right? So we're taking charge and taking responsibility of all these realms that have been listed. Now, there was a card that came out with this. So let's go ahead and see what it was. By the way, we've got, eyes up in the sky here. So this to me is really tapping into your intuition, tapping into the higher spiritual realms to see, feel, hear, and know with all your clairs what you need to. The card that came out with it, okay, we have Major Arcana 13. In this deck, it's called Transition. Now, this is, in the traditional tarot, the Death card. But this is nice because it is a sort of a softer feeling, a softer version, because they're using this term of transition here. And if you're hearing that little dinging, I'm sorry, but I swear that I turned off my notifications, and for some reason it's dinging and buzzing at me. So let's go with the flow. And here the death and rebirth card comes up. So again, it comes up with the Master of Chalices. We're mastering our emotions. We're mastering our psychic information that's coming in, mastering our connection to the spiritual realm, and we're going through this death and rebirth process, especially with our emotions and our emotional nature. That's part of the Pisces energy that we're starting out with. We've got that full moon in Virgo on the 7th. So definitely this is about releasing, letting go, transmuting, transitioning away from what we no longer need to hold on to, what we no longer need to carry. It has this feeling too, like we're kind of raising to a higher spiritual level, right? It's like we're moving from the third dimensional level through this portal to a higher spiritual dimension, to a higher spiritual level here. So this may be a time, yes, this could be a time of transition on a level of people that are transitioning from this plane of reality to another, or our pets. You know, we are in Pisces season. That is a sign of completion. So again, I apologize for the buzzing. Isn't that interesting? But this feeling of transition can be so much more. This is us transitioning out of old patterns, old belief systems, old energies from other lifetimes that we may have carried to learn something. We've carried into this lifetime to learn something, to balance something, to renew ourselves in some way, to become stronger and more confident in some way, to follow that self-discovery, evolution, and growth of our soul. And that's kind of what this has the feeling of for me. So I strongly feel like, again, it's connected with the death and rebirth of our emotions and emotional body in a strong kind of way. And again, we're just lightening the load, you know, it's like the heaviness of the third dimension, I feel like, is starting to fall away, or we're going through a moment in time, so to speak, of that, you know, some of those heaviness or facades or the seriousness of life. You know, we're starting to see that there's more to life, right? We're starting to move on and move up and move into our fifth dimensional light body, to our higher soul selves, and to another plane of reality as the whole collective of humanity, and as Earth Mother Gaia herself is evolving and growing and raising her frequency. That's a good word. I feel like we're raising our frequency, and maybe even doing some traveling, astral traveling in our dream time and our wake time. We're becoming more psychically and spiritually attuned. All right, let's move on to the next card. Excuse me. The next card came out by itself. We've got the Ace of Flames. This is great because this is definitely an indication of the spring equinox and the sun in Aries and the moon in Aries for the new moon. The aces are all about new beginnings. The flames is fire, it's wands, it's passionate, it's creative, it's vital energy, right? So we're lighting that torch and we're seeing what lies ahead. We're lighting the torch to take the next step on our path. We're highlighting what is our dream, what is our goal, and how can we initiate that in this new beginning energy. So this really doesn't need much more explanation. This is a very, very positive card. Let's take a look at the next card. This, by the way, would be just after mid-month, I would think. And then we've got, oh, interesting, we have another Master card. It's the Master of Crystals this time. We got the crystal skull here. But the Master of Crystals, the Master again is the king in this deck. The crystals would be like earth and pentacles or coins. So it's more of a grounded energy. This was more of the emotional body, the emotional energy, right? In connection to the spiritual realm and our psychic and intuitive gifts. This is more like we're bringing things now down into manifestation. We're the creator of our reality. We're the authority. We're the leader, the king of our own kingdom, so to speak, right? And what is it that we want to create? This also has a feeling of highlighting the mental realm, even though this is the crystals, which is more of the earthly realm, but it does have a crystal skull here. So I'm going to say that this is also about the mental body kind of being highlighted with inspirational ideas and epiphanies and aha moments, right? Which is very Uranus-like. So it's that higher God mind energy. And look at that skull, right? The mental realm of the mind is all highlighted and illuminated here. Another indication that we are transitioning to a higher dimension. We've got some yellow golden light here as we raise our vibration from third dimension up to a higher vibration, up to the higher dimensional realms, going through that portal into a higher dimension. Here we've got that golden yellow light again. So I feel like our mind is again transforming in the most positive way. The cellular memory, the activations, that's a good word too, activations are happening, coming through the crown chakra and activating, but it's going to assist in the manifestation process because this is the king of earth, the king of pentacles with the king of crystals or the master of crystals. Okay, so I also feel like working with crystals that are golden yellow in color would be beneficial. Citrine, golden calcite, golden apatite, any of the golden crystals, golden yellow crystals, because that's going to highlight that solar plexus chakra, which is our center of personal power. We're the master of our own reality, right? Our own destiny. We take charge and we're confident and courageous and empowered and moving forward. The card that came out with this card is the Chariot, Major Arcana 7 with the Chariot. So this is, well, to me, the Chariot is about moving forward, but we often have to bring things into alignment before we're able to move forward. The traditional Chariot usually has one black horse and one white horse, and you often see them pulling in different directions, which means the chariot can't move in a forward direction very easily or quickly until those horses come together and align and focus on the same goal, the same intention. Here we've got 5 horses. 2 horses veering off one way, 2 horses over here veering off the other, but the center horse, which you don't often see in the traditional chariot, is focused straight ahead. His intentions are straight ahead. He's ready to go. He's just now got to bring the powerful 4 other horses into alignment. When you got 5 horses all moving in the same direction, you're going to move forward with a force. You're going to move forward with a positive, confident energy towards your goals. And again, couple that with the master of crystals, being the master of your own destiny and being able to manifest what it is that you desire. It might not be as long as we think before we're able to see some manifestations of whatever intentions we're setting out before us. Okay, so a very positive reading, very positive. Let's go ahead and take a look at the special message card depending on your stone of choice. Okay, so the first stone of choice was the strawberry jasper, right? Yes, the strawberry jasper. So a special message for the month of March for the strawberry jasper. This one actually kind of, my finger stopped it and it was on the bottom. Now it's kind of in the middle. And this says, closing door, completion. So appropriate, right? The Pisces season that we're ending, and around the 20th of March, moving into Aries, it's like closing one door and opening another. We're completing a cycle and initiating another. We're closing the door to the past. Now, there is some light here, so I want to say bless what was good about the past. What did the past teach you? Those past situations and circumstances, those past belief systems and perceptions. What did they teach you? What can you be grateful and thankful for? There's good things here in the completion of whatever's going on with the closing of this door. And then you could look at it the other way and say, with the new door opening, there's even more blessings or new blessings, new joy, new inspiration, new creative energy that's going to be flowing through. So you might even want to do a visualization that you're maybe in a hallway with many doors. And maybe you're walking up to one door that has been opened, but that's the door to the past that you want to visualize that you're closing. And then you walk down the hall a little further and you see a door that's only open just a little sliver of a crack, but that's the new beginning. That's where you want to birth something new, and that's the door that you want to visualize that you're then opening. So know that you're in a big transition time. Talk about transition. You're in a time of completion and letting go and closing some old doors so that some new ones can be open for you. All right, wonderful. Let's take a look at the special message for the sardonyx people. Special message for sardonyx people. Okay, this one actually is calling my attention. That finger still always wants to pull the card here. Mindful, group think. Okay, so I feel like getting together with people of like mind is going to be very beneficial for you. I feel like going to like a group meditation, say for the spring equinox or the new moon in Aries, going to a class, a lecture, attending some sort of function with people that hold a similar mindset as you. This is going to help to raise your vibration. This could help with initiating your ideas in a much more energetic way. In other words, when you hold a certain intention or idea, sure, you can put that out to the universe and manifest just fine on your own. But when you come together with a group, and maybe when the group shares their intentions or a piece of their intentions of what they want to create in this new Aries cycle of energy, when you got a group of people all kind of helping you push positively your intention forward out into the universe, it becomes stronger, more vibrant, more colorful, more energized. So this mindful group think energy, I feel like groups is something that can be very beneficial for you. And maybe just beneficial so that you know you're not alone. Maybe just beneficial so that you meet new friends, new people to network with, that you have some support out in life. Maybe you've been in a time period where you've felt a lack of support or a lack of connection. So this is just going to help you to feel connected again, which is going to, again, raise your vibration. I've got people out there that care, that think the same way as me, that support my intentions. And that's just going to make your energy field come back to life, become more colorful, vibrant, and alive. And that's what you need. You need positive things here to fill your mind, right? So that you're not focused on any of, if you want to call it the negative or the lack, right? Okay. And then for those of you that chose the Goldstone Donut, let's see here. Goldstone Donut, special message. Okay, this one's calling my attention. Gosh, we've gotten this recently in another video. Repairing the veil. Yes, repairing the veil. And it does say at the bottom, forgiveness. Now again, the first part of the month until the spring equinox is a time of Pisces. And Pisces is all about unconditional love, unconditional compassion, forgiveness, and healing. So I'm going to say that the first part of the month, especially, you're doing a lot of healing. You're tying up loose ends. You're forgiving other people from this or the past or even previous lifetimes that you've had certain situations with that maybe has been a little challenging, right? But those situations and circumstances and those relationships with other people that may have been challenging, again, is all for the purpose of evolution and growth. So if you can get to your heart chakra here and open that heart chakra and unconditional love to send forgiveness to the other person, you don't necessarily have to speak with them and tell them that you forgive them, although you could do that too. But just send that vibe of forgiveness through space and time to that person, this person, that lifetime, that situation, and allow the healing to wash over you then and now. And then that healing is going to assist you and lead you in repairing different aspects of your beingness that you need to repair. And by the way, you can send forgiveness to yourself too. You might feel like you've been, beating up on yourself or chastising yourself in some way. Forgive yourself for the choices that you've made, because again, it's all a part of the evolutionary process. It's all a part of learning and growing as a soul. So all the way around, forgiveness, healing the wounds that tie us from this dimension to past life dimensions to future dimensions and future lives. That all the way around is going to be one of the things to focus on in this month of March. Okay, everybody, this has been a long one. Sending you all so much love and light and positive, vital energies towards creative and passionate new beginnings. Sending you many, many blessings of abundance and prosperity as you move into this wonderful new equinox and new moon time. Blessings and namaste, everyone.